Alrighty, so this might be the first time in a long time I'm not wearing the jersey of the team that won or the team that got a draw that is considered a good result in a single game review because let me say that this was probably one of the most infuriating game I've ever watched in MOS and probably a game that as a Minnesota United fan I want to apologize to anyone that witnessed this game because what we saw in this game is definitely not an indictment of what the league is, and that just everything was bad about this game, from the finishing, from the bad turnover from both of these teams. And I think the only good thing I can say about this game is that at least both goalkeeper keep a clean sheet out of what has just been probably the most infuriating game for anyone to watch this. I mean, you don't even need to be a fan of both of these teams, and you watch this game to tell you how, yeah, let's just hope that we'll never see this kind of quality game in MLS ever again. And yet, despite that, I still put a relatively good amount of notes in this one, which again, if you wonder how in the world I'm able to do so, well, let's get to those notes. So in the first half, there was a lot of possession early for Dallas, as I thought the Loons was trying to sit back and counter. The first shot of the game came in the 10th minute. That saw Lud hit one right to pause before Longwane would hit one right to pause in the 12th minute, and I thought Dallas to watch out for those turnover because there were times where they were turning the ball over way too easily, which again would be a precursor of what they would be doing for most part of this game, and the same goes for Minnesota United. Martinez did have Dallas for a shot, but he flashed that one wide before Longwane would put it wide from close in the 17th minute. And again, the build-up I thought was looking good for the Loons, and even in the final third up to that point was looking good. But can they be better in terms of their finishing? Please don't do a drinking game in terms of me talking about finishing and also bad final third because I am definitely going to be mentioning that a lot throughout this review, and that if you decide to do a drinking game on that, do at your own risk. But in the 22nd minute, Amaria would blast it high from close range before Paz denying Lud as he was in on goal, as I thought the Loons would start pushing for that opening goal. But then this is also where I started saw that the final ball was a problem. And again, they were creating some good chances, but at times, the final ball was just not there for them as the half goes along. Amaria had a chance in the 44th minute, but he puts it wide from close range. And yeah, we head to halftime, scoreless by both of these teams. And in the second half, Longwane actually went in on goal, but he completely mishits it. And I mean, real that shot pretty much sums up Loon's struggle of finishing this season. And also, I might have also should have wrote that shot is gonna be a foreshadow of the frustration that you're gonna see what we saw in the second half, where basically finishing not only was non-existent, it almost felt like it was just an impossible challenge that both of these team were for no reason tried to participate in. Uh, in the 55th minute, Fiera did go in on goal there, but it was poked away at the crucial moment before he had another chance 2 minutes later. In fact, he went in on goal again, but this time he missed that one wide, and he's taking the fact that the flag, of course, went up. By the way, I think in this game, there is so many times in this one you could say that both of these teams are kind of happy the fact the flag went up because with those bad finishing, at least with the flag went up, it kind of saved some embarrassing moment. And believe me, there was a lot of bad finishing that as I about to talk about. But yeah, I also wrote that this kind of started to look similar to last year game at Allianz Field between both of these teams, because remember last year when we come into the second half, and especially around the 50th minute mark, this is when Fear kind of gone off. I mean, he started to not only score one goal, I think he scored a hat trick in that game against the Loons, and that I thought we were in for that again because he was active again and had a couple of chances to give Dallas the opening goal. In fact, in the 58th minute, O'Brien had a chance to, though he hits one right to Dane Sinclair after just a terrible turnover from the Loons. And I thought this is the first time where Dallas started to create some chances and started to stretch this Loons back line. So in the 66th minute, Lawrence would hit one right to pass before Fragapani would put a one hopper that goes wide. Lur then went through the entire Dallas back line and basically gone beast mode, but unfortunately he missed that one wide. I mean, if that one went in, at least that maybe is the highlight of the game. But nope, because of the fact that this game is completely snake bitten in terms of finishing, that's not going to go in. And again, I wrote the question once again. The Loons have created some good chances, but can they finish? And I've capitalized and in this one because it was getting really infuriating once again to see that they just could not put the ball into the back end net. In fact, I think at in every single game, I'm just gonna put all caps on that because that's just the thing that is just driving me nuts with this team whenever I just see them having some good opportunity and for some reason they kind of become like Sporting KC and not able to find the ball into the back of the net. And then I also kind of wrote, can anyone do something? Because again, up to this point, this is when I really start to see it's been sloppy from both team from the attack, the midfield, and defense. And I also noted that I feel like as the game goes along, you can start to see that there's some desperation for both of these teams going forward, where they want to score a goal. But then one thing that I will say about desperation, and I've seen this happens before, when you're desperate in terms of trying to score a goal, and you have problem in terms of scoring a goal, you're going to start pressing too hard. And I thought there were times where both of these teams were definitely pressing too hard, especially the Loons. I thought as the half goes along, not only the frustration is started to come to them, but they were starting to press too hard. They started to cross the ball aimlessly, and then there's also times where even when players get into a good position, they couldn't finish. And also I was worthy to kind of talk about how as we hit the 80th minute, we have actually now gone 270 plus minutes since the last goal was scored in MLS. Keep in mind, in the game between Vancouver and Colorado and the game between RSL and Seattle, both of those games ended in 0-0 draw. So, we have actually coming into this game gone about 180 plus minutes without a goal. In fact, the last goal that was scored, and this is still, believe it or not, the last goal that has been scored in MLS, was the goal that Corey Burke scored against the Chicago Fire in the 89th minute. Ever since that, there has been no goal that's been scored in MLS. I mean, it's quite remarkable. We have gone three straight games where there hasn't been a goal, or at least up to this point, it looked like we're gonna go three straight games without scoring a seeing a goal in MLS. And then in the 82nd minute, Garcia was in on goal, but he missed that one wide because of course he missed that one wide. Again, nobody can finish in this one, and again, he was fortunate that the flag went up there because that would have been an embarrassing miss. They also showed the expectancy goal, which I kind of find it funny that they show the expectancy goal. And again, this is why I don't talk about expectancy goal a lot. I mean, I always feel like that's just a number. Yes, it's a number that shows you that hey, at least you're doing good thing. But at the end of the day, that number might be good in terms of the analytics, but it really does not help you in terms of getting 3 points. Like you don't, nobody says that. Oh, I'm happy that we won the expectancy goals, even though we didn't win the game. I mean that's something that I don't think a lot of people would say, especially coming out of this game. But at least looking at it, it says 1.8 to 0.2 in favor of Minnesota. Trap then puts it wide on the volley, and then in the second minute of stoppage time, this was another moment that sums up this game. I mean, Amaria, he basically had the goal at his mercy, and while Pass did make a great save to deny him there, Amaria just hits it straight to Pass. I mean, that just sums up in terms of this game, and also just sums up this Minnesota United attack. This front three has no confidence whatsoever. Like this front three, I would say that they're almost in the same level as what we see with Sporting KC and their attack, where we talk about their attack is struggling to put the ball into the back net and these bad finishing is getting over their head. I feel like it's the same case for this Loons team. Like there is just no confidence whatsoever from this Loons team on the attacking end. And yeah, in the end, it ends in a scoreless draw. I believe now the Loons have gone over 200 plus minutes without scoring a goal. The last goal that was scored, I think, was against the Chicago Fire because I know they didn't score here, and then in the previous game against Seattle, they didn't score in that one too. So yeah, the goal drought is definitely once again on in that. Yeah, in the end, it ends in a 0-0 draw, and the shots in this one. I mean, the shots doesn't actually tells you the fact that this was a boring game. Like when you look at the shots and the stats, you wouldn't think it was a boring game. You wouldn't think that this was just one of those games. Maybe one team couldn't finish. I mean, that was kind of the case for Minnesota. 17 shots committed, six that Dallas had. 5 shots on goal for the two that Dallas had. 10 shots off target for the three that Dallas had. 1 shot that was blocked for the two that Minnesota has. And possession wise, 50% for both of these teams. But if you look deeper into this game, and if you actually watch this game, especially in the second half, it was just between two teams that simply are just snake bitten. I mean, Dallas couldn't really do anything going for on the attack, and Minnesota at least they kind of did something in terms of the build up. But once it gets into the final third, it basically is a no go zone for them. I mean, it just everything just breaks down. They just could not put the ball into the back net, and yeah, I mean, again, this is really concerning. I gotta say, and this is to a point where I think this is starting to become similar to. I'm just hoping it doesn't get similar to the Sporting KC situation because as I'll talk about in the review tomorrow, and actually I'll mention it right now since I'm talking about Sporting KC. I'll definitely do a video talk about Sporting KC and their historic bad start in league history because they actually broke a record that they definitely don't feel proud of in terms of becoming the first MLS team to go winless after 10 games. It can be the case for this Minnesota United team where once the goal dried up, there's just nothing there for this team to to go forward and really do something. And again, I mean, I want to say that I should be used to this because of the fact that I've seen this happen before in the last couple of seasons. But I feel like this is even worse because of the way that again there's just no confidence whatsoever from this team in terms of the scoring department and that I mean, the only thing I will say is that Adrian Heath, he better get this team working on finishing nonstop doing this week because if they don't do that and if they cannot get this drought ended anytime soon, well, this team can definitely head into the same situation that we see Sporting KC, and even see teams that go through goal drought where they're starting to drop points and also start to lose games. But that being said, on the other hand, for FC Dallas, I mean, I don't know if you're happy with this either. I mean, they really didn't play very well at all in this game, and now the roll form has started to become a problem again for Dallas. I mean, I mentioned before Dallas, this is a team that have not been historically one of the best road team. Although last season it was kind of different, they were a little bit better in terms of it. But this season they're struggling on the road again, and this performance is not going to inspire confidence. And especially, I think the other problem for this team is that they are just heavily relying on Jesus Ferreira. Like if Jesus Ferreira is not on in this one, then yeah, this team is not going to score goals. And also, not to mention, they desperately need Alan Velasco back. I think they really miss the quality. I mean, Paul Ariola, he's literally trying to carry this team in terms of the attack, but even then, he's not going to be have enough of that quality to really just carry this attack. And again, going back to Jesus Ferreira, I mean, part of them is the fact that he needs to do better in this one. I mean, he had some of the chances in this game to put away, but also just he's been kind of getting no service throughout this game. Other than the two good looks that he had in the 50th minute, he didn't really get any service whatsoever. But overall, let's just kind of forget this game actually happened and yeah, I know this might sound crazy, but let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this game? I mean, I'm pretty sure you're gonna say it's a boring game, and I don't blame you whatsoever. And I don't think Minnesota is gonna be on national television again until they play Seattle in a couple of months. Which I mean, I think that's for the best because I think after this game, nobody want to see Minnesota or FC Dallas on that national television again because I mean, again, I apologize to anyone that witnessed this game, and just this game does not give the indictment that MLS it is going to be a league that has completely gone backwards because what we saw in this one was something like MLS or not even MLS. I've seen USL Championship game that are more exciting than this one. That just is a huge indictment of how incompetent in terms of what I saw in this game by both of these teams. But nevertheless, like I said, let me know in the comments below what do you think of this game. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.